Dave Mustaine has been diagnosed with cancer. For Dave himself, as well as his family, friends, and fans, these are really tragic news. But what if we could grab that anger and frustration and do something about it? So the good news is that according to Dave's medical team, he has a very good chance of making a full recovery. These amazing news are only possible because of the effort of researchers and scientists from all over the world, and which has led to an enormous decrease in the overall cancer death rate. In the United States, for example, between 1991 and 2015, the overall death rate from cancer went down a whopping 26%. This is all thanks to the huge progress that has been made in surgical procedures, as well as in radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and other forms of treatments. Cervical cancer, for example, which kills thousands of women every year, is slowly becoming a preventable disease thanks to the availability of a vaccine against the human papillomavirus, or HPV. That same virus has also been found to be linked to anal cancer, vaginal cancer, vulvar cancer, mouth cancer, and yes, even throat cancer. Bruce Dickinson's own fight against cancer was because of the human papillomavirus. The terrible thing about this is that because HPV can be a sexually transmitted disease, there is a horrible stigma against not just the disease and those who suffer it, but also against vaccination. For example, some people have actively opposed the vaccination of young girls because they think that being immune to HPV is going to make them sexually promiscuous, as if promiscuity, whatever that is worse than cancer. Even Bruce Dickinson himself faced this kind of crap when he had cancer, when idiot members of the press started to make disgusting jokes about how his throat cancer came from oral sex. It's precisely for stuff like this that people stay silent about their diseases and they end up dying. Marcia Cross, an actress on the show Desperate Housewives, recently spoke candidly about her own battle against anal cancer and her husband's battle against throat cancer. She highlighted how important it is to remove the stigma and the shame of what should be a diagnosis that requires love and support from those around the patient, and not scorn and ridicule about how they may or may not have gotten sick.
Why do you want to talk about this now?
Because I know that there are people who are ashamed. You have cancer. Do you have to then also feel ashamed, like you did something bad, because it took up residence in your anus? I mean, come on, really, there's enough on your plate.
If, like me, you are saddened by the fact that Dave Mustaine has been diagnosed with this terrible disease and actually want to do something about it, the good news is that there are actually a few options at your disposal. First, speak with your doctor about whether you or your children should get vaccinated against the human papillomavirus, even if you're a man. If your doctor believes that this would be beneficial for you, please consider getting those vaccines. And while you're there, maybe consider getting a full physical. Early detection is key in stopping many types of cancer. Second, donate to the many wonderful organizations from around the world that are devoted to oncological research, as well as to organizations that help cancer patients and their families. As great as it is to say #FuckCancer when you read about something like this, if you are in a financial position where it is possible for you to be charitable, please contribute to these organizations. Since I am often in the Netherlands, I support the Dutch Cancer Society, but there are many organizations from around the world that could really use your help. Third, don't smoke. It's just terrible for you. There's no reason for you to smoke. Finally, if you know somebody who is struggling with cancer or who themselves have a family member or a friend who is suffering from this disease, try to be supportive. I lost my dad to cancer when I was a kid, and I know that dealing with the diagnosis, not to mention the treatment, can be an incredibly lonely and difficult period. Not just for the patient, but also for the family. Helping whatever way you can, even if it's just by offering a shoulder to cry on. They will really appreciate it. The war against cancer is far from won, but huge progress has been made throughout the years. It's a fight against an enormous enemy of epic proportions. And isn't heavy metal all about winning epic fights? I'll see you next time. Stay metal.